All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to PKFX YouTube trading channel. Starting from this video onwards, we're going to look at all the currency pairs that we will be evaluating for the week. Today is Sunday. Usually, the markets are closed Sunday, and that will be a good time for us to see what the market has done so far and kind of predict what the market is expected to do in the upcoming days. So market is expected to open in a few hours time. So this would be a good time to analyze the charts. So since this is the first video, let me just quickly walk through what am I going to do. So this is usually what I do. I tend to first of all check the markets on a weekly candle chart, daily candle chart, and 4-hour candle chart, and then I kind of see the market structure and mark it over here, up here, if the weekly trend is actually a buy or a sell. So green is a buy and a red is a sell. So I try and see what the market is doing on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, and on a 4-hour basis. So these are the higher time frame that we can look at if we are trading as a day trader or a swing trader. So this gives us an understanding, I would say, on the overall picture on where the market is heading. This can help us to give a clue on what can we expect the market to do in the upcoming days. Now, it's not necessarily going to follow exactly what we are expecting it to do, right? As you know, market can always do whatever that it want to do. News will also impact the market, and as you know, right now we have ongoing war, so anything can happen at any point of time. So that's why we try and analyze on Sunday when the market is closed, and then when the market opens, we will see if the market is doing exactly what we expected it to do, or is the market doing completely the opposite, and then we adjust accordingly. So to start off with, for this week, I'm just going to highlight this particular market over here. I've actually shortlisted the markets that's actually in the zone where I'm interested to open a buy or a sell. And these markets, I would say it's still progressing to my particular area of interest. And these particular markets are pretty much at a very high point or a very low point. So it's probably going to keep going higher or have a sudden pullback. So it's not really advisable to trade. You can always trade whichever currency pair that you like, but this is the pairs that I'm looking at. Sometimes as the day progresses, I tend to see opportunity arising from this particular currency pair that I've like pretty much arranged accordingly. And if this is building up a good potential, I tend to move it up and then monitor them accordingly. So you get to track however you would like to do. This is just my style of doing it. So let's start off with Euro JPY. So Euro JPY on the weekly basis, if I'm to look at the weekly candlestick patterns, what I see is the weekly is actually in sell. So weekly is sell, and if I move to the daily chart is also at a sell. Whatever that's happening over here is still within the sell structure over here. So that's why you can see, like, I've marked the lower high of the daily sell and the lower low of the daily sell. This is the market structure, and whatever that's happening over here is pretty much market movement. It's nothing yet. Unless it breaks above here, then the market turns into a buy. And if the market breaks below here, it's going to have a continuation of a sell. So right now, weekly is sell, daily is sell. And when we go on a 4-hour basis, it's actually at a buy. So since the weekly and daily is at a sell, what I'm expecting is the market to actually continue to sell. But this pattern over here and this bullish momentum over here in this last candle is indicating probably market is actually shifting towards a buy. So that's why for this chart, I'm expecting some sort of a pullback, and if it does, I'll try to make a buy over here from this is my area of interest, or another area of interest is over here. If the market continues to actually keep building the momentum upwards, any sort of small pullback, I may buy for another entry point over here to keep going up. So When the market opens, I'm going to keep monitoring over here. Ideally, this is a better pullback, and this particular area has round psychological number, has the EMA building up, and this pullback can also retest previous structures over here. So a good pullback and a bounce from here would be a good trade. But if the market chooses to keep going up like this, then I'll probably enter over here. We'll see how it builds in the upcoming days. That's Euro JPY. Now next pair will be USD CAD. So USD CAD on a weekly basis is pretty much a buy. It's a buy, right? It's bullish. And I do notice over here that it's creating a strong buy candle and a doji candle. So usually a doji candle indicates indecision and a potential reversal as well. We'll need to see how this week opens up, but you could see similar pattern has happened before. Right here, you see a strong bullish candle, a doji pattern, and a strong bearish candle. So can the market pretty much do the same again? Probably not. We don't know, but we need to see how it will turn up. But so far from what I see, high chances it may just repeat the same pattern again. Now, again, the market is pretty much 50-50. It can do whatever it wants. Just because that we think it's going to do that doesn't mean that it's going to do that. But if it does that, we have a like a previous reference point on what to expect. So yeah, coming back, weekly candle is strong, so weekly is bullish, right? It's a buy. Daily was a sell, was a strong sell over here, and everything that has been happening so far has not broken the higher point or the lower point, so it is still a sell on a daily basis. But look again over here, I see the EMA is coming as a support, and the round psychological number of 1.37000, okay, is also acting as a support. So if the weekly doji were to play and the next candle is going to come as a strong red candle, then this to support has to be broken. Otherwise, this is going to act as a strong support and the market is going to keep pushing higher, right? So that's why I want the market to show me its hand first. I want the market to break below and then probably come and retest, and I'll find a good entry point, and that would be my continuation sell until my next zone where I'm interested to make the next move. On the 4-hour basis, right now, it's already doing the sell, right? So I want to see some candles on the 4-hour basis. This is probably going to build probably on Sunday and Monday, and eventually we'll see how the market turns up. And if it doesn't, it flies up, then it flies up, man. That's how it is, right? So that is USD CAD. I'm expecting some sort of pullback and then retest and continuation sell. So I'm preparing myself for USD CAD for a sell. Now next would be GBP AUD. Okay, so GBP AUD on a weekly basis, it's actually a very strong sell. You can see over here, right? And the last structure was actually way down here, right? The market had a rebound for an entire week, and then it came back down and broke the previous low. So this is the lower low, lower high. So weekly is on a sell, right? And if I go to a daily basis, all right, it is also a sell, right? So weekly sell, daily sell, but the 4-hour is actually building up momentum to a buy. Now, the weekly have been going down for quite some time. By right, it should have a reasonable amount of pullback before it makes a continuation pattern down. Can it keep going down? Yeah, definitely. But this is what I'm expecting. And the previous good support, or now will act as a resistance, as you can see, is this area, right? This area where it has a lot of previous support that is now turning into a resistance. So I marked it over here as a box, and I'm expecting the market to come all the way up here to at least make a retest, and by that time hopefully the EMA will also be all the way down, and both can act as a resistance before the market makes a huge push downwards. Now if I were to take this trade, it is pretty risky, I would say, because the weekly and the daily is on a sell, just that the 4-hour is going on a buy momentum. I'm expecting a buy to continue over here. So if we are taking this trade, we got to understand that we are going against the trend. So I would say it's a counter trend trade. So it's a bit risky, but this is what I'm expecting. The more ideal way to do it is to see if the market breaks below here and retest this area of support into resistance and keep going down. So that will be with the trend. Or you just wait the market to come all the way up here and this previous resistance start acting as a strong resistance, and eventually the market turns around, then you enter for a sell. That would be with the trend, with the higher time frame trend. But if you're going to take this trade, this is against the trend. It's risky, but it's doable. So that is GBP AUD. Moving on to Euro GBP. Now Euro GBP on a weekly, it's pretty much a sell. I can see a head and shoulders pattern forming here and it's coming back to retest the neckline. Ideally, it should break down because head and shoulders pattern, usually when it retests the neckline, it tends to break down. But from what I've seen for the past few weeks to few months, most of the head and shoulders pattern tend to not just stop at the neckline and come down. It tends to go way higher than that to the next area which used to act as a support, which is now a resistance, and then it goes down. So I believe it's probably going to do the same over here. I could be wrong, but this is what I'm looking at. On a daily, it's a sell as well. So you see weekly is a sell, daily is a sell. So high chances it's going to go down. But the 4 hours, all right, the 4-hour candle, despite you can see over here, despite having this accumulation pattern instead of breaking down, it actually broke up. So this high breakpoint may have a little bit of retracement, and then it may just continue to go up before it gets properly rejected, because this is now the market showing its hand saying that, hey, I'm not really going down, I'm going up first. So I believe any sort of pullback would be a good buying point to have the market to keep pushing up before it finds significant resistance and then finally following the trend. This is just my expectation. Now the market can always flush all the way from here, but we will see when the market opens. Moving on to Euro USD. All right, so Euro USD, I believe, is the one that is most affected by the war. It's probably one of the highest traded pairs out there, and for the past few weeks, it has been dumping. The USD is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. The euro has been getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Now it had a strong push. This indicated that the USD was getting strong. But eventually, I believe that the USD is going to have a dump. Now, this once again, this is just personal opinion. This was a strong sell. So I do expect maybe on the contrary, it's going to keep going up. By right, if we have the weekly structure as sell and the daily structure as also sell, right? You want to go with the trend, right? You want to sell. The 4 hour, again, same thing. The 4 hour is actually on a buy trend. Now, my thought process over here is if the market comes all the way up to my support resistance area of interest, right, and the market shows some sort of weakness and starts going down, then we are selling with the trend. But also, we need to understand that for the past few weeks, because we have been having a lot of dumps after dumps after dumps after dumps, the market may just push back up to find some sort of a level of equilibrium. So if the market is breaking up higher, then there are chances that it's gonna keep going up as well. Again, it's probabilities, right? 50-50, right? So it can go up or it can go down, but we gotta let the market show to us first, is it actually going to go up or is it actually going to go down, and then we try to enter and try to make the most out of it. This looks like a good trending area. So even when the market comes all the way up here, and because of it can just get rejected over here, and you can see like it can form some sort of a triangle pattern, and then it can get rejected over here and keep going down. So Euro USD, I wouldn't say I'm that confident. I gotta see how the market is gonna show its hand first, and then we get to move accordingly. But basically, weekly sell, daily sell, you wanna go with the trend, you wanna sell, right? 4 hours a buy. So if you're someone who's trading just for a few hours in and out, yeah, it could probably go up before it makes a push down. AUD USD. AUD USD on a weekly basis is a strong uptrend, so it's a buy. it just had a reasonable amount of pullback. Now it's at a good support resistance area. On a daily basis, it's a sell, right? So this pretty much is the lower low and lower high, right? It just formed. So daily is a sell, and a 4 hours is also a sell, right? All this is just chopping around before it goes up or goes down. So 4 hours sell, daily is a sell. I'm expecting the market to keep chopping around and eventually, most probably following the weekly pattern, to go on a continuous buy. And the reason why I think that may just happen is because it had a reasonable amount of pullback. The round psychological number of 7,000 or 0.700000, however number zeros there are, yeah, I mean that's a strong psychological number. Can it act as a support? Maybe. We'll see. But this is what I'm looking at for AUD USD. For the USD to continue to become weaker and eventually the AUD makes the run. So we'll see how this pattern turns up as well. And also I can see like some sort of a triangle forming here. So even if like this pattern plays out something like this, it bounced, rejected, eventually this kind of pattern tends to break to the upside more than the downside. So we got to see if the triangle pattern is what actually that is playing out over here. So that's AUD USD. Next, NZD CAD on the weekly basis, it's a buy. But you can see it had a tremendous pullback all the way to the previous higher low, retested the previous higher low, and now had a strong bounce as well, and actually closed slightly above the 8,000 mark, 0.800000, right? So that was a reasonable bounce, but look at the week over here. A lot of people probably got wicked out. So over here, on the weekly basis, it's a buy as well, right? Got, I would say, slightly rejected at the EME, and then had a strong pushback, right? Strong upward candles followed by a strong downward candle, which also closed right above the 8,000 mark, RPN, round psychological number. 4 hours is also a buy. So I see the weekly buy, daily buy, 4 hour buy. I'm expecting to buy, right? I want to go with the trend. So any sort of push above here that may make this support resistant area of interest as a solid support, that may have the EME to eventually come here, act as a support, the round psychological number as a support, right? And if it can retest the previous structures over here and then make a strong green candle, that will be a good buy point. So NZD CAD, looking at buy. Can it break down? Obviously, all candles can do whatever the hell it wants to do. We just got to see the market when it opens, right? Moving on, USD CHF. Now, USD CHF, this is one of the trade that I thought it's going to keep going down, but made a huge reversal. Didn't wait for me, just broke through and just flew off, right? So this particular trade was one of the trades that you saw in the journal. And you can see, when I entered the trade, it was actually on profits. Then market reversed. And when the market reversed, when it broke this, I would say, structure, the 4 hour structure, it closed above the 4 hour. The round psychological number was still acting as a resistance, so I was hoping it will hold, but the next candle, it literally just flew past the stop loss. So there was no point where I could secure or close out and save some capital over here. I let it play out, and it played out, and it took me by the stop loss. And now it's actually back here. So what I want to see is, I want to see this candle to go all the way down here to make this area of support and resistance as officially my resistance, and the EMA of the 4 hour to be above me so that I can make it as a resistance as well. And then I want the market to retest, and then I can have a good sell. By selling, I'm actually following the trend. Now, I gotta also understand that this market is actually at the lowermost area. So it could suddenly just have a major pushback, right? It could suddenly just fly up. So it's very risky to trade something that is at a lower low like this. But I see the trend as weekly sell, daily sell, 4-hour sell, so why not sell, right? But let the market show its hand first, and if there's potential, then we'll enter and we'll see how it goes. Finally, I'm also looking at NZD USD, and this particular pattern, I would say same thing as the previous one, but in the opposite direction. You can see the weekly is a buy. This is your weekly higher low, weekly higher high, so it's a buy. And daily is also a strong buy. Daily higher high, daily higher low, but it had reasonable amount of downtrend already, reasonable amount of, I would say, pullback already. And now for the first time, instead of making like a lower candle, it's actually making slightly higher candle, so maybe it's reversing now. 4-hour candle just made a higher high, good pullback, so I'm expecting to go with the trend, right? So weekly buy, daily buy, 4-hour buy, I'm expecting to buy. This is my expectation. So that's about it, guys. These are some of the charts that I'm looking closely, and come the market opens, we'll see what the candles are doing, and then based on that, whichever that works, whichever pair that works, I'll probably see which one has the highest confluences as per my strategy, and I will see if I can enter the trades. I'll enter the trades. So it's not a financial advice. You guys do your own research, obviously, and see which one makes sense to you. If this analysis made sense to you, if this is aligning to your trade, you can consider taking some trades as well from your end. Obviously not a financial advice. See if it's consider this as just entertainment purposes only, educational purposes only. And if you have any questions or you have another way of seeing things, you can drop comments and I will try to reply to them, see if we can communicate, see if we can make the most out of it. But other than that, thank you so much for your time, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, thank you.